What's going on? So Enai today, and the creator of EnaiRim, he dropped some new heat on us. Looks like we may be getting an all maker stone mod in the future. It still says proposal, of course, nothing's ever set in stone, but if you're on the r/EnaiRim Reddit up here, you'll often see these drops. So let's see what he's thinking about. We've got Bosmer. Hunting animals has a 5% chance to give you an all maker stone power. Cool, cool. 100% if hunted by a carrier. Even better. Alright, cool. Orc. Gain a random all maker stone when you kill an epic foe. Interesting. Alright. Again, I'm not super duper familiar with all maker stones, so we're gonna have to honestly let's start there because I've never actually played with all maker stones. I did end up looking them up as a necessity, but I'm not really familiar with the stones themselves. So, hold up. I think I can rotate this. Yep. Here we are. Cool. Where is it? There you go. All right, so these are the all maker stone powers. So this is vanilla. We got 80% of all physical damage for 30 seconds. By the way, guys, I am going to put like links in the description for like the different parts of this video, so you can just fast forward to whatever you want to see, whether it's the new ones or this or the corrections to Wood Elf and to other things concerning Freyr. So just look in the description, or it'll be broken into chapters on the video tab as well on YouTube, so you don't have to wait here for me to go through stuff and understand what's going on. All right, caster ignores 80% of all physical damage for 30 seconds. Then must be reacquired the Earthstone. Now I remember that the Nord had something that allowed them to reacquire a stone as long as it's been 8 seconds before the end of the combat. So that's actually really cool. See, now that I know what the all maker stones are and what they do, I can actually speak smartly on this. Conjure Werebear. Summons a Werebear for 60 seconds wherever the caster is pointing. Okay, that's not that good. Unless that Werebear is just cracked. I've never used these stones. I've played Dragonborn sparsely in order to get evocation and stuff like that. And like, I've never actually finished Dragonborn. Even having it for I think half a decade now, just never had the urge to finish it. So the story I don't care about. Like I just don't care about Dragonborn. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I just don't care about Dragonborn. So that's why I have very little understanding of what all entails the all maker stones. Northwind targets take 60 30. Okay, so that's 200 points of frost damage roughly, and then it goes away. Are all these then it goes away? Well, it says single use, right? So all these are then it goes away. So that's basically a 200 point blizzard. Root of Power, all spells cost less to cast. Very good, we like it. Sunflare, fiery explosion for 100 points, does more damage to closer targets. Alright, cool. Sunstone. And then Waters of Life heals everybody, 200 points. Single use, then must be reacquired at the Waterstone. Cool, so that's what we're working with. Water heals, Sunfire, Root, magic reduction costs. North wind is cold, so frost damage. There's no shock damage version of this. Beast is summoning a werebear for 60 seconds, and then Earth is damage negation physically. Alright, so now we understand what we work with. We're going to move forward into the next part of this, which is going to be a nice proposal. Sorry, YouTubers, but you're just going to have to deal with the fact that we're just going with what we can here. So for the Sunstone, that in vanilla was, I don't know if he's still going to have the vanilla effects alongside these effects. That'd be actually kind of cool. but we'll see. So Altmer gets the vanilla effect, it looks like, and then also inflicts fairy light. I really do like this. I like it more depending on how big that range is. If it's a really close range, I don't like it as much. But if it's a decent range, I like it, especially if it scales with the destruction power and all your fire effects from the destruction tree and destruction perks. I like it. So you'll notice that I commented below if you're in this thread. Hey, I like it. That we've got some fairy light fixes, and I really do. Altmer Hot Blood detonates all living nearby enemies below 25% HP except Argonians. Again, I'm just wondering what effects are going to allow us to get people below 25% HP in mass reliably. Like, I just don't. Is there some type of spell I'm not aware of that just reduces all opponents nearby to 1 HP or 10% HP or what have you? Because if there is, then this is fire. Like, you just fire literally, but you just use that and then you immediately kill them. But I'm not reading that from here. I'm reading I have to work to get somebody below 25% HP, and chances are I already have a mod active that I could just hit them again. Since they're already below 25 HP, they've probably already got an injury, which makes them even more vulnerable to getting hit again. And then I just kill them normally. Like, why would I use my special ability for this when I could just hit them again and they die? That's usually going to be anything that involves low HP. That's just going to be the way I think about it. Like, I'm not going to say the way I play is normal though. Like, I play very high damage, very high reward. So I take a lot of damage and I give a lot of damage. That's not necessarily true for everybody. I'm thinking about swapping over to EnaiRim, but after reading some of the reviews on it, I have to try it out myself, obviously. But after reading some of the reviews on it, I'm just like, I might just stick to Wildcat realistic damage. I like Wildcat realistic damage, honestly. I do. It's always felt like the perfect balance of everything for me. So if I'm switching to EnaiRim and I have a whole bunch of new worries to worry about, I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy that because I've got to relearn how to play. But I digress. Let's continue. Bosmer, Solstice Spirit. Passive empowers Harrier to inflict a daily burn when it marks an enemy for X minutes. Deadly burn. So I'm guessing this is like one of those slow burn effects that never goes away. Well, I guess it goes away after X minutes, but there are enchantments in Summer Mist that do the same thing. It basically burns an enemy perpetually and it just never goes away. I think this is very similar. So honestly, maybe I should go over. No, I'm not going to go over this. Harrier is not as bad as I thought it was. Let's start there. I'm just going to say that for now, and then we'll go into my Wood Elf, corrections later, because I do need to make some serious corrections to my assessment of Freyr Wood Elves. So I will get to that later, but Harrier is not as bad as I thought it was. It will be constantly on during combat, which means that, but it is going to be pretty random. So it's going to be a random enemy that's going to be marked with whatever Harrier has. So this is going to be cool for Harrier to give it some extra damage. I don't know how good that burn is going to be, but it's constant damage. We'll have to see how good that damage is. We really will. Yeah, well, that all depends on how much damage it actually does. Alright, Brayton, Cup of Life. Golden Radiance heals you. Also deflects disease damage to enemies based on the number of cultural artifacts you have. Okay, cool. Cool. It's kind of like Indiana Jones and was it not the Temple of Doom? The other one. Was it the Ark? Raiders of the Lost Ark? Where they had to... Was Raiders of the Lost Ark the one with the Golden Grail? The Holy Grail? Right? No, it wasn't, was it? Raiders of the Lost Ark was different. I don't know. Whichever one where they had to go into the temple and find the Holy Grail, and they had to spell out the name Jehovah, but because it was in ancient Hebrew, like the letter J doesn't count, like it's not real yet, so they had to like step on I, so the person who stepped on the wrong letter, like fell through the floor and got. You know what? I'm just watching Indiana Jones, guys. It's great. Those are great movies. Um, Anyway, that reminds me of this where they drunk out of the wrong cup. So when you got to the final room of this gauntlet, right? So it was almost like a Skyrim dungeon, only way more deadly, which is crazy when you think about how strong the Dragonborn is versus, these are basically normal human beings in Indiana Jones. But this is way more deadly than any Skyrim dungeon you can imagine. And they get to the end of it, and spoiler alert, so fast forward about 20 seconds if you don't want to hear how this movie ends. But there's some cups in the room, and one of these cups is the Holy Grail. And the bad guy in the movie, he picks up the fanciest looking cup with all the jewels and stuff, and he drinks out of it like, yeah, this is the Holy Grail, and now I'll become immortal. And he drinks out of it, and he immediately dies. Like, he gets poisoned and cursed or whatever. And it's like, oh, why did he die? Well, theoretically, Jesus was a humble man. So the main character of the movie, our hero, Indiana Jones, he picks up a humble cup, just made of regular wood or whatever it looks like, and he drinks out of that one, and that's the one that's safe to drink out of. So that's how that situation ended. That's what this ability reminds me of. And I took like three I took like three I took like 3 minutes to explain that, but this is really cool. That's what that reminds me of. That's why I kind of like it. All right, Dunmer Health. Okay, first of all, as soon as I saw this particular ability for Dunmer, for Dark Elf, I immediately thought to myself, yep, we're making it. It wasn't this one that made me decide to make a video, but this was the one where I said, oh, I like this. Fiery explosion that inflicts a lingering burn to enemies and to yourself. Obviously, if you know what Fireborn does from Manaz, you want this. Like, what are we talking about? So, yeah. This activates your, I think these are replacement effects. I don't think these are additional effects, by the way, because this would be the regular Sunstone plus another explosion plus lingering burn to yourself. I think this is, yeah. I think these are replacement effects. But yeah, fire explosion that inflicts a lingering burn to enemies and to yourself. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. I probably won't actually need it because I'll have like Wandering Flame. Unbound Flame, right? Is it, or Wild Flame? I forgot what it's called. I think it is Unbound Flame. Yeah. I think I'll have Unbound Flame by then. I should have Unbound Flame at the beginning of the game as a Dunmer. So that'll pretty much handle my needs for Fireborn procking. But still, this is really cool. I like it. Alright. Imperial Oriflamme. Or is it Oriflamme? Oriflame. Guys, is this French or is this Belgian or what is this? I don't think, it's definitely not German. And it's definitely not Spanish. It might be Portuguese or something. I think it's French. Rapidly regenerate magicka and stamina for 30 seconds. Okay. I'm sorry that whatever. Yeah. Khajiit, Salt Valley. Turns nearby enemies below 25% into statues, killing them and dropping a ton of gold. See, that's what I'm talking about. That works with our mission to go get gold, guys. I like this. I like this a lot. Like, so this is halfway a live reaction. I did read some of these. I read through some of these, but I did not read all of them. So I read like 3 or 4 of them that I liked, and I was like, okay, we've got to do a video for this. Like, we've got to do a reaction video. I like this a lot. Salt Valley, kill them, turn them into gold. I wonder if this is like based on the story of Lot and his wife, where they tried to turn back towards the city of Sodom and Gomorrah and they got turned to salt. I think it is. See, these cultural references, I'm picking up what you're putting down in Nas for the most part, I think. I don't know what a Hellstar stands for, but I'm picking up the Salt Valley, I think. All right. Nord, Aurora Storm. Shock Explosion. Oh, here's our first shock ability. So that's been fixed. That also depletes enemy magicka, stamina, and weapon charge. Alright, so basically inerts the enemy. does an explosion. I don't hate it. It's cool. That's kind of what you would figure for an ultimate, and especially with Nords getting the recursion effect for all maker stones. Like this is something that you could realistically use multiple times. Like you could get an all maker stone. And I don't know if Enai is going to do anything about accessibility for all maker stones, where you can get them without having to either play Dragonborn, or you can get them after getting them the first time by going to your residence or to your home Athal or something. I don't know if he's going to do something about that, but this looks cool. This looks great, and especially with Nord getting them back after 8 seconds, as long as the fight doesn't end, I like it. But then again, if this shock explosion actually kills the enemy, then you don't get it back. So your recursion effect goes away, and then it's like, well, let's look at that recursion effect real quick, actually. Which way do I go? This way. So this recursion effect for Nord. All right, so yeah, all maker stones used during rage are returned to you if rage is maintained. Okay, so it's not based on combat, it's based on rage. My bad, guys. It's not based on combat, it's based on rage. So you just have to time your rage right. How long does rage last is, I guess, the important piece of that. Nord. Okay, so it's based on your ability to maintain your magicka. So okay, so basically you proc rage, you hit your lightning storm or whatever else you want to use with the Nord, and then you just keep pushing from there. Honestly, all that makes sense in the beginning of combat anyway, because it would inert your enemy. So your enemy's coming at you, rage for your damage, and then hit him with the lightning shock thing, and then you immediately start swinging on him, and then you should have it for another 8 seconds, right? So let's go back to this here. All right, so now that I understand this a little bit better, Nord looks really good actually. Aurora Storm looks really strong. I usually don't say that about passive effects, but because of the recursion and because you can just keep using it, that's actually really good. Orc, Molten Crater, empowers your War Stomp for X-Men to inflict fire damage. I like it. So now, the more different ways I have to inflict damage with my stunning Nern talons, the happier I am. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like it's a very niche build. It has nothing to do with anything. It's not going to make you a better orc. You could probably find a way more optimal way to play orc, but I just like it. I just like the idea of killing people with molten spikes coming up from the ground. And well, I guess the spikes themselves aren't molten, but in my RP they are now. So now I'm doing fire damage on top of the 20% damage that I get from whatever that other orc effect is that you get from Freyr. And then yeah, I like it a lot. I think it's Warthog Stomp. And then Warthog Stomp, Molten Crater, 20% damage plus fire damage. I'm liking all of this, guys. And plus the instant stun, and if Thorns of Nern is active, the instant like launch, like you can just that's just good crowd control. I'm not gonna lie, guys. That's just amazing crowd control. Like if you're not a massive enemy, if you can be launched, just don't come near me. That's all it really comes down to for you. Just don't come near me. All right. Red Guard, City of Bronze. Bashing, power attacking, or sneak attacking an enemy blinds them or forces them out of combat. Alright, he's memeing now. There's no way. Ain't no freaking way. There's no freaking way. He's memeing. He's memeing. Hey dog, I heard your red guards are overpowered, so I put some overpowered in your overpowered so you can overpower while you overpower. Oh man. Alright. That's great. That's obviously good. And it's a passive. And it's a passive. You don't even have to activate it. It just works. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Well, I said I was going to play Red Guard first. I kind of need to play Wood Elf first just to get a feel for Harrier. But I do want to play Red Guard first because I haven't played Red Guard in such a long time, and it is my favorite. I mean, even before I started playing modded Skyrim, that was my favorite race to play. But Wood Elf is just sort of like I feel like I need to vindicate myself for getting Harrier so wrong, so I might need to play that first. We'll see. Waterstone. So this one's interesting. Altmer. Dancing lights. X chance per second to inflict fairy light on nearby enemies for X minutes. I like it. It again, just like with the Sunstone, it depends on the definition of nearby. If that means enemies within 5 feet, I hate it. It's the same problem that we had before, right? If it's enemies within 20 feet, maybe not as bad, depending on what the percentage is. If the percentage is really high, like 30 to 50, then yeah, great. If the percentage is really low, like 5 to 10, trash, right? Like just again, forcing a mage. I know it's not a mage race, but it's a mage race per lore. Like I know he's trying not to railroad us into being mages, but he's kind of railroading. So me and a few other commenters in the and I guess I could take this chance to go now and look at this. So by the way, I have 0 followers because I had to turn off my followers because of all the annoying um oh wait, I don't want to do that. I want to look at comments for this. There we go. Uh so we were talking about just how bad Altmer is because it kind of railroads you into being a close quarters combatant. Fairy Light, you have to activate your enemy, which means you have to be up close and personal with them. And then, I mean, regardless of what the effect is, like, sure, we'll get additional effects to Fairy Light, but the idea that I have to be on my enemy and touching them to use it means that I can't be a keep away mage. Like, I have to be some type of close quarters combatant in order for that to be feasible. And then the inborn magic. So this ability is named inborn magic, and the only thing you cannot buff is your magic damage. You can buff your attack damage easy. You cannot buff your magic damage unless you're using a specific Freyr stone, but you can use a different Freyr stone that gives you additional attack damage instead. So you can get a maximum of 15% attack damage and 15% magic damage, or you can instead just go for 22% attack damage. Which one would you do? Now, if you're a spell sword, of course, you can go 15-15, but if you're just a straight up warrior or a straight up mage, a warrior gets 22% attack damage, while a mage gets, and this is what I'm talking about here, the Steed Stone, only gets that 15%. And that's really, really unfortunate. So that's what we're talking about with how bad Altmers are. And I'm hoping that gets fixed. There are some fixes, and when I'm talking about these fixes in here for Altmer's Fairy Light, I'm hoping that they're allowing Altmer to be more of a rear guard type of mage where you're just like, you're not frontline warrior, you're rear guard. You're trying to cast your rituals, cast your spells from far away. So if this dancing lights, that nearby scares me. That word nearby scares me because I'm thinking it's 5 to 20 feet. It needs to be like 50 feet. It needs to be a distance. It needs to be a good distance. And then whatever the chance is, I understand you probably wouldn't want it to be guaranteed. It's per second, so if it's a good distance, it could be like 5% per second or something like that. Even though I guess over 20 seconds, that's pretty low. You probably want it to be pretty decent. 10%. But it's for X minutes, and the fact that it lasts so long is probably what ends up like, I think that somewhere between 5 and 20. If it's a good distance. If it's a good distance, somewhere between 5 and 20. If it's a very short distance, might as well make it 30 to 50. Like, you might as well make it guaranteed to happen in a very short amount of time, because it's just going to be a passive buff at that point. All right, I'm done complaining about Altmer, guys. I'm sorry, I'm probably going to go off on some more. I gave like 2 full Altmer rants during my last videos, and I'm probably going to give you 2 more during this video, so just be aware of that. Argonian, Way of Water. You're considered to be swimming for 30 seconds. All right, I looked at that, and this was the one that really made me say I'm making a video about this. So let's go see what that's about, guys. Way of Water. Let's go see what that's hitting for. Okay. So Argonian. Caustic Spit lasts twice. I'm looking for things that are swimming. I don't see anything about swimming here. Except polished scales for speed. Alright, so with that one, you can increase your melee damage by a ton. That's what I'm seeing here, is that you increase your melee damage by a ton. And then there's also this note here that your health regeneration is 100 points per second underwater, unaffected by survival mode, so that's a bigger buff in survival mode. I don't play survival mode because that's dumb, but you get 100 points per second health regen, as well as 100% move speed. Yeah, that looks really strong when you put all those things together with Steedstone. And then let's see what else we can get from Manaz here. Argonian. Argonians breathe underwater and swim 50% faster, so you're already getting 50% speed there. Okay, so it's basically 100%, well, 100 points of regeneration per second underwater. I'm assuming swimming counts as underwater. Breathe water, doesn't matter, and swim 50% faster. So swim 50% faster. Is it additional? By additional. So 150%, you get 150% speed modifier from the water stone. I think that's the single most important piece. That kind of makes you a punch lizard, doesn't it? Right? Because if I'm not mistaken, Argonians get a claws bonus as well. I think they do. It's not as big as the Khajiit, but I think they do get a claws bonus. Yeah, and even if they don't, 150% speed. 150% movement speed is ridiculous. Especially if there is some way to get that stone back. That's ridiculous. Like, unfortunately, it looks like Argonians are just going to be way better than Khajiit when it comes to melee, based on this. Like, if you want to be a melee character and you want to be the best you can be, you'd pretty much want to play Argonian at this point. Alright, so let's go back. Alright. Bosma Rain Dance. No. Why would I ever do that? No. Alright, fine. Yeah, I would never ever do that. But Bosmer's last ability wasn't bad, so I don't care. Like, every once in a while you throw one away. like Imperial did on Sunstone. This one Brayton's thrown away. Oh, excuse me, Bosmer's thrown away. What's Brayton doing? Enter a dream state during which time is slowed. Can reactivate before it ends to return once you can reset your attributes. Huh? So does that mean like all your attributes go back to like if you were level 1? That's interesting. Really interesting. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I'd actually want to do that, but I'm sure somebody would. Dunmer Obsidian. Consume a fire to greatly heal yourself and replenish some stamina and magicka. I'm not sure what the consume fire thing means. Does that mean you activate the opponent during Fireborn, or like how does that work? Either way, actually, that wouldn't practically make you immortal for a lot of things because of Unbound Fire. Like, you just keep hitting yourself and healing. That's just ridiculously strong. Because it says greatly heal yourself, so I'm assuming the magnitude of your heal is going to be really strong. Yeah, Unbound Fire is just going to be like part of the Dunmer kit. It's just going to be like, you use this because it works. Khajiit, shimmering caravan. Summons a Fata Morgana of a merchant that sells potions and buys your equipment. Okay, so why are we getting 2 caravans? I guess that's my main problem with this. Is so the Manaz effect is a caravan, and now I have another freaking caravan. Like, I'm sick of caravans. So give me some movement speed, bro. Like, why are we still getting caravans? Like, water walking or something? Like, I don't know. Like, Khajiit needs help, bro. Khajiit needs help, bro. Khajiit needs help. Like, Khajiit is struggling out here. This is not a drill. The back's against the wall. It's not a test. Help me, Khajiit, bro. Oh man. All right. So enough complaining about Khajiit. Yeah, I just don't like the fact that 2 dedicated effects have been merchants. Like, come on now. We can do better. We can do way better. Alright, Water Atronach. I actually use Elemental Destruction Magic, the mod, so I have Water Atronachs already. I don't know what this Water Atronach is. If it's physical damage, or if it's frost damage, or if it's pure magic damage, or what that entails. I would like the answer to that question if we could get it. Or we just, well, I don't know if you could play around with it and figure that out, because you're just using the stone, and I don't know if the stone's going to tell you that the Water Atronach does X water damage, or X physical damage, or X whatever damage, or if it heals you. That's also a possibility, is that Water Atronach, because the regular water stone is a healing stone. So there's a chance that it just heals you. And I guess that's kind of what I'm missing from the Bosmer's effect, which is Rain Dance, is that Waterstone itself is a healing stone. So besides Argonian, which is clearly offensive, and Dancing Lights, which is pretty offensive, the rest are kind of along the same lines of healing. So maybe Red Guards, Water Atronach is a healing Atronach. Alright, Beast Stone. Altmer, Lantern Lore. Fairylight also forces the target to follow you and stand in front of you in a stupor. I don't hate it. So, part of the only ways to make Fairy Light work the way it works and still be good for mages is if it does have that kind of either a paralyze effect or something that makes the enemy not attack you. And this is a version of that. I don't hate it. I don't want to get that close to my enemies, but I don't hate this. If your enemy is the retreating type, it's not going to work at all. But if your enemy is the aggressive type, then it'll work fine. So it's just one of those things to realize. And then the Beast Stone is the stone that summons the Werebear, right? So the idea that it gives you a follower by making them be stupid and stand in front of you, that's actually plays into the lore of the regular Beast Stone. So that's cool too. Argonian, Lucky Dragon. So is Argonian the only one to get yeah, it's the only one to get a buff for all three, besides I guess Altmer did. Grow massive for 30 seconds and turn okay, I didn't see that before. It's Godzilla. Okay, fine. It's Godzilla, guys. Grow massive for 30 seconds and turn your caustic spit into a laser breath. I want to play Argonian. I want to play Argonian. Argonian is OP with the... Well, it's not... I'm not going to say it's OP because I don't know how strong that laser breath is. But I know for damn sure that Way of Water is stupidly strong. Because of the 150% movement speed. Like, if you don't have to wave your arms like you're swimming and you could just punch and kick like normal, that's strong. That's super strong. It may only be 30 seconds, but 30 seconds is all you need when you have 150% movement speed. Hot Blood's going to be trash. Yeah, okay. We can read some of these extra comments. Yep. Role-playing as Godzilla in Skyrim. I fucks with it. Give us a standalone of Lucky Dragon, please. I agree with the LOL. See, I didn't get the LOL until I read that. I saw that earlier. I was like, what? Is he like LOLing like this mod's trash? Or no? Yeah, I did have seen that Lucky Dragon. All right. Cool. So that's all for this portion of it. Let's go over the Harrier and some of the stuff that Enai was, because he gave us feedback about my previous video and my previous comments. So let's go over that real fast. All right, so he was talking about Disintegrate. We went back and forth a tiny bit about that. My stance is still, if I can kill somebody in the next swing, why would I activate a special effect to kill them instead? Like, I'll just take another swing. Like, the action that I've taken to get them to 20% health is good enough to get them to 0% health, especially if I'm only expecting to take 3 or 4 swings to kill them. Like, there's no reason for me to do anything under 20% health to kill an enemy that I can just kill with my sword that I've been using so far. Especially in EnaiRim, when there's so many effects that we can go back up to here. There's so many effects that if you look at Ordinator, maybe even Valkyrie, nobody plays Valkyrie, but if we look at Valkyrie or Ordinator, Valkyrinator, if you would, so many effects are basically, if your enemy's low health, kill them. Like, that's what they say in simple terms. So having so many effects over here in your special effects say, if your enemy's low health, kill them, doesn't help. And that's kind of where I'm going to stay with it. From my opinion, these disintegrate effects don't matter unless they're like 40%. Like, once they hit to 40%, that's when they start looking good for me. Alright, reduction of armor. I was wrong about that. You can reduce armor even if an enemy doesn't have an armor rating. Or I guess all enemies have armor ratings, but if they're not humanoid and they're not wearing armor, then their armor is 0, but you can reduce that to a negative. Apparently that's a function of marked for death. So that's what Enai's saying, at least. So Yeah. And then the most important piece of that was I don't understand how Harrier works. Sorry, I didn't. No, I do. So basically, and I wish he would just put this under Manaz. Maybe he did update Manaz's page. He should update Manaz's page so that people don't have the same mistakenness that I did about it. Because anybody looking at Harrier or Manaz is going to think it's trash. Simple and clean. Like it looks like trash. So when the bird is hunting an animal, the combat debuff won't activate. So actually, no. Let's read it from the top. It does two things. It marks animals to hunt for a very short time, every 8 to 16 minutes, or mark your enemies in combat. It can only do one of these things at a time because there's only one bird, but it does something all the time. So if you are in combat and there's no animal being hunted, it will hunt down your enemies or mark your enemies. So that's the first thing you have to understand. But if it is hunting an animal, the combat debuff does not activate. So you've got to go find the animal, kill it in order to get your bird back. So I don't know if this carrier tells you, hey, I'm active in the screen, because sometimes on the HUD it'll say different things like, hey, your Harrier is active or your whatever. I don't know if that's still a thing, but hopefully it is, so that you can go just find that animal and kill it so that you can use it for other purposes. So that's the most important piece. So understanding that those two things about armor and about Harrier, we need to go back over all of the. I'm not going to go back over disintegrate effects because I still feel I'm right about that. But I'm going to go back over armor and over Harrier real quick. So, like I said at the beginning of this video, we need to go back over Wood Elf. All right. So let's start by doing a finding page for armor effects. And of course, I've got to type it in because why wouldn't I just be able to? All right. So this is Altmer. So the Lady Stone is one of the earliest stones you can get, right? Right. So that's actually stupidly strong for beginning of game. That's basically, yeah, that's again railroading the player into being a warrior Altmer. Honestly, the fact that you can get this as soon as you start the game without that much traveling at all, like you make it to the warrior stones, jump in the lake, go get the Lady Stone, and then you have this effect. And then you can basically one-shot things with the iron sword at level 1. It's stupid. Or level 2, rather. So, that's just more of Altmer being the best warrior class or something stupid like that. Ritual. Okay, that's our armor, so we don't care about that. Don't care about that. Don't care about that. I do need to go over those Nord a little bit as well. Warlord Stomp. I probably crapped all over it last time. Because it's just not. I didn't think it was as good as some of the other stuff. Let me go over it real quick. I need to look at it in comparison to everything else. I mean, that's basically the same as Lady Stone for Fairy Light. I think it's really strong. It probably lets you one or two shot an enemy right after Warlord stomping them. I wouldn't use it myself because I'd be using Warhawk Stomp. You know what I mean? I need to get my 20% health off. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? I need to get my 20% health off. Although putting an enemy on their back and then also decreasing their armor by 500% or by 500 actually sounds really strong. I'm not gonna lie. That actually sounds like a really strong combo. Like launch an enemy, put them on their back, 500 points, and then set them on fire a little bit. That sounds really strong. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I'd have to test both and see which was stronger. I'd have to test both and see which is stronger. I do like the idea of actually doing damage though, because it seems really weird that these spikes are coming off out of the ground, stabbing through the enemy, and then doing no damage. That's my real complaint with Talons of Nirn. And I know you guys don't care about Talons of Nirn, but I care about Talons of Nirn, so that's why I keep going over this interaction. All right, Harrier. Actually, we're gonna go over Wood Elf properly later, so let's skip that. All right, so we're gonna go over Nord again because we know what stones do now. So All Maker Stone stuff. So last time I said my favorite stone was what was it? The one that gives you shout stuff, right? Hacker, Scalder, and then so that's Ritual Stone, and then after that it was like some other stone from there because you eventually get that from that kind of effect from Thunderchild. Probably Tower Stone. Yeah, probably Tower Stone. Yeah, that looks right. I don't know if I'd want Dream Journey. It just depends on how good. If all of the All Maker Stones for Nord are good, then yeah, that'd be kind of cool. But if any of them aren't good, it'd be kind of whack. Ultimately, I think it turns into Astronaut Stone just being the best stone because of its ability to keep you continuously going with that All Maker Stone. Yeah, I think it is. Yep. Are there any? Yeah. So the only two that are All Maker Stones are just those two, right? Yeah. Atronach and Lady. Lady can be really good for the very, very beginning of the game if there's a really, really strong Nord one, like the shock one that gives you that neutralizes your enemy. And then as soon as you get that one, you go to find the Atronach Stone over in the not the swamps, but the geysers, and over in southern East March. And yeah, you go ahead and grab that so you can keep it permanently. Yeah, that's my current opinion on the All Maker Stones. I think Nord works really good as an All Maker Stone. But here's my thing. If I'm not mistaken, Winter Sun also has like, if it's not, is it the old ways that works with the All Maker Stones? If I'm not mistaken, so you could probably get some. Hold up. Okay, let's act like we know. Okay, go. Act like we know. I'll just scroll it. Should be towards the bottom. Oh no, it's not these then. was it? Oh, the Allmaker. Okay, makes sense. Cleanse the Allmaker stones, hunt animals. Oh, there you go. You can get that for Britain, Imperial, Nord, or Redguard. Okay, and that, so basically for those 4 races, if you have Winter Sun installed, your Allmaker stones are going to go crazy. Now we've already looked and saw that one of the Redguard ones is stupid, stupid strong, but it's actually a passive, so it doesn't matter. Britain, Imperial, Nord. Nord has an active one that you'd want to pray to get back if you can't get it via rage. So it just depends on if you want to use the rage mechanic to get it back, or if you want to use the Allmaker worship to get it back. Because in order to use the Allmaker, you have to give up Talos and Alessia and other stuff. I don't know if you necessarily want to do that as a Nord. Maybe even want to follow the old ways, right? Alright, so we've talked about everything else. Finally, let's get to my corrections concerning Wood Elf. Alright, so knowing that Harrier will, as long as it's not hunting, if you're unlucky and your Harrier's hunting during combat, that just sucks to be you. You need to either go fix it or reload before you enter combat and make sure that your Harrier is not hunting something. Go hunt the thing that is hunting and then come back and get into combat later. So anyway, Apprentice Stone. Wood Elves regenerate magic and stamina 50% faster when outdoors. How do we feel about this one? Trash. Astronaut Stone. When a target attacked by wild sense enters combat within 10 seconds, it loses 25 health. 25% health. I actually like that a lot. I didn't like it at the beginning, but if you were really quick with the draw, like, use wild senses, because wild senses is what? You just stand still with your hands down. How does that work again? While sneaking, stand still with hands down for 4 seconds. Set targets. Okay, so you can set that up so that you, boom, withdraw your bow, pull it back, shoot. Or sneak up on somebody. It would take it depends on your sneak skill, but if you sneak up on somebody, you can still get it done within, pretty quick. That 4 seconds of having to wait until that detection activates is going to be the rub, though. Much easier for a sniper than for a sneak attacker, like somebody who's actually trying to slit throats. But either way, it should be workable. Yeah, that's actually going to be pretty strong because that's 25% off the top. Sounds really good. Harrier has 33% chance to unequip the target's armor in combat if they are humanoid. Yeah, I mean, make it easier to kill things. I don't like the 33% chance, but it's a 1 in 3 chance of an easier kill. And when I put it, here's my thing. If I say it's a 1 in 3 chance of an easier kill, and it only works against humanoids, that's when I start understanding it's probably trash. like, yes, if I'm going against Valtheim Towers or against, not really Forsworn because they wear light armor anyway, but against like some bandit chiefs and stuff like that, like, or Silverhand, stuff like that, I could see it being useful. But outside of those particular situations where you're dealing with heavily armored people, of course, the Civil War quests, you'll deal with a lot of armor as well. Outside of those particular things, it's just like, I'm not feeling it. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. And then it unequips their armor, so now you got to go pick up their armor, like, especially if they were wearing special armor or something. I'm like, yeah, no. Alright, Rain Pack. Can ritually eat dead humanoid foes who have been marked by a Harrier in combat, fortifying all attributes equal to its level for 15 minutes. Mm, I like it. So I hated it when I first saw it last time, but I like it now because there's a very high chance that I'm going to be able to use it, and I can role play a cannibal wood elf very faithfully, especially if you're also playing Namira and werewolf and all these other things. Like you can stack eating. You know, just being a cannibal in 3 different ways. All right, lover Magpie. Harrier finds 2 rare items instead, included enchanted items. All right, whatever. Mage. By the way, let's go over the early game stones first. So that means mage, thief, and warrior. So mage is inflicts weakness to, okay, that's what you expect. So weakness to elements. Thief gives you, let's get right. Thief gives you, well, it's not, can we focus? Come on. I guess we can't focus right now. There we go. Thief gives you, while Harrier's not hunting or in combat, it accompanies you, regenerating 4% of maximum health per second. Interesting. Actually, that would make it easier to tell when it's actually doing something, but my question is, hold up. When it's not doing something, what is it doing? Reducing armor by 250 and magic resistance by 25. So my big thing with Harrier is if I don't know that it's doing something. So the Thief Stone gives you the ability to know when it's doing something, right? Oh no, that's the Tower Stone. Never mind. I'm reading the wrong effect. Thief Stone. Widows are 50% hard to detect by targets that are not being spotted with wild senses. Alright, that's good. And then Warrior. Harrier has 50% chance to knock targets in combat into the air. Better than a 1 in 3 chance that you get from Lady Stone. I'll tell you that. And then knocking targets into the air is more effective against more targets. Because unequipping armor is only effective against humanoids that are armored, and it's best effective against humanoids that are heavily armored. But it don't matter if your enemy is a mage or a light armor guy or whatever. Like knocking them into the air, as long as they're light enough to knock into the air, it works. No matter if they're a goblin or weakling, as long as they can be knocked up into the air, they're being knocked up into the air. So warrior is strictly better. For me, warrior is strictly better than lord here. So you wouldn't go out of your way to get, not lord, then lady. So you wouldn't go out of your way to get the lady stone here. Then the last early game stone is going to be ritual. Harrier can also hunt people. I don't like it because it doesn't say that it prevents Harrier from hunting innocent people or friendly people, and that scares me. Like, maybe if I'm playing an evil character, like, sure, but I don't really see how I get a benefit from hunting people. I just don't. I would actually combine ritual and lordstone, kind of, so it can hunt people and then I can eat them, and that will make your evil Bosmer RP a lot stronger. But I don't know. It's up to you guys. It's up to you guys to decide if that makes sense. Because why can I hunt people and then I hunt them down and I just kill them, and then it's like, okay, I got jewels and stuff. Yeah, sure, but like, yeah, and it says apex predator. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm just being overly negative. All right, so let's go back to what we were looking at before. We looked at mage, we looked at ritual, serpent, green man, disease resist, don't care about it. Shadow, hunter's eye, love it. Yeah, I love hunter's eye. I think it actually, I don't know if this 25% of health is maximum health or current health, but this 500 armor reduction that's serious. And both of them are activated by wild senses, so there's no reason. Like, I think Shadow would just be strictly better. Either way, they're both pretty difficult stones to get to. Steed Stone, 10% faster movement when outdoors. Not really feeling it. We've already gone over Thief Stone. Tower Stone is one that's actually a good quality of life stone. I was talking about it before because I thought it was the Thief Stone, but it's a good quality of life stone because I would say most important thing it does, besides keeping you healthy, is it lets you know when your Harrier is nearby, so that when you do get into combat, you're not like, dude, where's my Harrier? Where's my Harrier? No, it's been hunting a fox back in Whiterun for like the last 2 minutes. Like, that's what I'm so scared of whenever I think of Harrier right now. It's just like the bird's just somewhere like just like screwing you off, and you're just like, I could really use your help in combat. There's a freaking dragon here, and the bird's just like, yeah, but did you see this fox though? Did you see this ox? There's a chicken here. Yeah. What are you saying? You need me to debuff that dragon for you? Yeah. I'm kind of busy. There's a chicken here, guy. There's a chicken here. You should have came and got the chicken. I tried to tell you about it 30 minutes ago. Like, I'm just afraid of that with Harrier. Like, so having a Tower Stone would help alleviate that. That your Harrier is, honestly, that should just be an effect for all Harriers, that it kind of just stays with you at all times. I would like that actually for all Harriers. They don't, now the tower one can be the only one that heals you, because that's cool. But can the Harrier just like stay with us? Like, you know how in the old Pokemon games, like the Pokemon would just be in a Pokeball or outside the Pokeball just following you? Like, same deal. Like, keep the Harrier on us so that we know that we have a Harrier. that would be my request, is that the Harrier is with us at all times. All right, and yeah, we already talked about Thunderbird. I like Thunderbird a lot more than I like whatever the Lady Stone version is. I like it. Plus, knocking people up into the air is just funny, especially if it's like a tiny little bird doing it. That's funny to me. Yeah. All right, so that's my redo of Wood Elf. My apologies for getting it wrong the first time, but Enai really does not give enough information on his other pages. But anyway, that'll be it for this video. I didn't want this to go over an hour, but it did go over an hour, so meh. Yeah, I hope you guys are excited. I'm pretty excited about the stuff that's upcoming. And yeah, catch you on the next one. I know I've been postponing this Dragon's Dogma. I'll tell you what, all things go as planned, probably Wednesday, Thursday time frame. I'll release some Dragon's Dogma content. I know that's like really what keeps the lights. That's really what keeps the lights on and views coming in on my channel. That's like my most popular content is Dragon's Dogma, so I need to do some Dragon's Dogma content. Yeah, that'll be coming. I need to do some Dragon's Dogma 2 content, more importantly. So yeah, as always, I've been me, you've been awesome. Peace.